Hi and welcome back. Today we are going to go ahead and introduce you to a few more soy products and what to do with the beans. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so what we're going to do to start is we're going to take 1 quart, because we're going to make a lot. We're going to take 1 quart of dried soybeans and put them in the bowl. Now, and we're going to go ahead and fill this up. I'm going to fill this jar up twice. Soak it. If it needs more water, we'll go ahead and add another jar. But this actually needs to soak for quite a while, 6 to 8 hours minimum. Okay, and whenever it starts soaking, you are going to see some foam, and the shells are going to start coming off. Okay, that's normal because we're going to go ahead and strain that off. Okay, so now that we've gone ahead and got these soaked, I actually let them soak overnight. I'm going to show you how to get the skins off. These skins can actually cause a bitter taste. Focus. There we go. Okay. And I'll show you how I do this. If there's an easier way, please let me know. Because this is going to take some time. Okay, so what I do is that I actually take the beans and kind of crumple them up in my hands to get the skins off, kind of like the almonds. You want to try to get as many of these skins off as possible because it's going to create a bitter taste. So let's go ahead and get this done now. Usually what I do to separate the skins from the soybeans, because they're smaller than the almonds, you can't really handle them as well, is I will drain. I'll put water in this, and a lot of the skins will actually float to the top. Squish this around a little bit. A lot of these skins will float to the top, and then I'll just siphon off the skins and put the beans back in here, and then throw away the skins. You really don't want to save the skins unless you want to compost them. And this is what takes most of the time, is to get the skins separated. Okay, now that we have as many of the skins off of those beans as possible, let's go ahead and start processing. What we're going to do is make a soy milk first, raw soy milk, and then we're going to process it into regular soy milk and then make tofu. You don't want to use store-bought soy milk for this. They put additives in the soy milk to keep it shelf stable. Fresh tofu is the best. It is so much better than store-bought tofu. Trust me on this one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do basically what we did with the almonds, except for do a few things differently. Now that we got the skin, most of the skins off, we are going to go ahead and blend them up and make the raw soy milk. But you also want to go ahead and get yourself some nigiri. I think I'm pronouncing that right. This is Japanese nigiri. You can get this off of Amazon or a local, if a local Oriental store has it. Go ahead and pick you up. Sometimes they come in little packets, but I got the industrial size. Now for every 1 cup of soybeans, you want to add an extra 4 cups of water. So there's going to be a lot of water in this. We're also going to go ahead and strain this out once we're done. And I'll show you that process. Okay, you're going to get your handy strainer and catchment, because you want to keep all the liquid. And you're going to put the muslin cloth or cheesecloth inside the strainer. And this is to catch all the solids. We're going to keep the liquid. We're going to toss the solids. But let's go ahead and get this blended. Once this is blended, it'll turn white, and then you're going to go ahead and strain. Okay, while that's straining, let's go ahead and 1 more cup, 3 more cups of water, and continue. Alright, so we have a gallon of raw soy milk. You do not want to drink this. Not until we actually bring it up to a pasteurization temperature. Because what it is that there is something in soybeans that matures whenever the bean starts to go dry. That is actually really, really upsetting to human stomachs. You can eat the immature beans called edamame. Okay, it doesn't have that this type of. I honestly have no idea what the enzyme is, but it develops over its maturity, and we have to cook that out. So we're going to go ahead and bring this up to a boil. Any foam that comes to the top, go ahead and remove. That's part of that enzyme. I find that the less foam it has on top, the sweeter it is and the better my stomach feels. Alright, now that it's pretty much come up to boil, you see all that foam that's still on top? You will still want to scrape that off. And get rid of it. That's part of that enzyme that I told you about. Okay, at this point it is soy milk, okay, something that you can actually drink. The foam has been taken off as much as you can. You can still see it steaming. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to save some of this soy milk for drinking. Now you don't want to can this. You want to make this fresh. It'll last about a week in the fridge. So take as much out as you think you would need for your week's eating, and then we're going to go ahead and make the tofu. And put it in the fridge. Okay, so we're going to need to take some of the nigari, and you're going to dissolve it in the water. You don't want to dissolve it in this. Now for this much, I'm going to take about 2 tablespoons of the nigari flakes. You can get this in, like I said, packets, but you can get it in crystal form like this. You can get it in liquid form. It just really depends on your preference. It's kind of like rennet whenever you're making cheese. This is the same process. You want to make sure that this is completely dissolved. At this point, everything is off of the heat. No more heat on this. Okay, and after it's all dissolved in, we're going to take this out. We're going to go ahead and stir it in. Let it set. If you can tell right now, it's instantly clumping up. Now I want to make some hard tofu. That's the reason why I put 2 in. And this is a little bit older. This is not as fresh as I would like it to be. Now, nigari, all this is magnesium chloride. So if you can't find nigari, look for magnesium chloride. And the same stuff. Okay, so you want to go ahead and get your presses ready. Depending on how many you're making, you're going to have your tofu press. Line it with the muslin cloth or cheesecloth, depending on what you want. Now, because I'm not going to, I'm simulating my sink at this point. I'm going to put a bowl, my strainer inside, usually the sink. And we're going to go ahead and pour this into, or the tofu into the presses. Now, I'm going to try to make 2. Usually what a press does is that you have the holes here to let the water out along with the top. Actually, I think I'm only going to have enough for 1. Let's go ahead and do 1 first. If I have more, I'll do 2. You want to let that drain. This is the reason why I do it in the sink. Then add more. Let it drain. I think I'm going to have enough for 2. One may be bigger than the other. That's all right. Now the water I dump. The mash I threw over the fence for my neighbor's chickens. But this is what we're after. Now you want to get this as much drained as much of the moisture drained as possible. And I'll show you what we're going to go ahead and do. We're going to use the tops. We're going to mash this down until it's done draining, which could take a while. And then we're going to go put weight on this as much as possible because we want to press these for about 30 minutes. Alright, so now that these have drained, what you want to do is you want to kind of fold these over a little bit. Have some sort of top like this, and then you want to put down, I could probably have put all in one, but I kind of like them thin. Okay, now what we're going to go ahead and do to press these handy dandy bricks from the garden. You want to make sure that these are nice and flat and don't topple over. And you want to leave those for 30 minutes. Okay, so now that it's been 30 minutes, let's go ahead and take this out. Find out what type of tofu we have. It should be firm tofu. This is stuff that you can slice thin and like fry up or cube up. So let's go ahead and put these back in the garden. And let's go ahead and unwrap it. Okay, nice and firm. Go ahead and unwrap it. Very nice. Still moist. You can cut it up into segments and fry it up, or use it in your favorite tofu recipes. It is kind of small, kind of thin, but I actually like the thinner a little bit better because it's just me and Grandpa. We don't, this will be 1 meal, 2 meals. Doesn't have to be, as big as store-bought. It can be any size. Okay. Okay, and there we have tofu and soy milk. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this segment. I've been wanting to get to making tofu for a while. The other things have come up to where I just haven't gotten to it yet. I do store soybeans for future use. Not that much. I can go through about 20 pounds in a year. That is for, like tofu, soy sauce, all the miso, all the soy products. That's how much that we go through soy for throughout the year. But hopefully we might be able to get some of this into some recipes later on. And hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.